live on the air. I'm Richard Saile.
This is wild.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Lounge Time. I'm your host, Rich Saile, and today we have a couple of things to get into today with NFL Week 14 starting tonight. Dallas Cowboys, Detroit Lions. We have Conference Championship Weekend for college football. Couple games to pick. Who do I think wins it? You'll have to find out. Plus, my first ever top 25 college basketball poll I have made. It's for the men's because we did a March Madness episode in March earlier this year. So I've watched some teams play. You're going to have to find out, though, who makes my top 25 list so far. Now, my rankings are different than everybody's. You'll have to stay tuned for that later. But let's quickly get into college football because I don't really have a lot I want to go over because it's mostly Conference Championship Weekend. I'm going to mostly cover the games. Quick thoughts on the rankings. Am I surprised that Bama is still over Miami? No, because this committee's SEC bias. But then again, people are going to say to me, well, Vanderbilt and Texas aren't ahead of Miami. No, but Vandy should be at least. But you know what it also told me? Vandy, Utah, Texas have no shot. Virtually no shot. Now, if BYU wins and Bama wins, Notre Dame's done, people say, which sucks because that means Miami would probably get in over them. But then again, what if BYU and Bama both lost? Miami has to get in, right, as an at-large? I wish I had the answers. But the fact now that people are saying Bama's got 3 losses and could still make it, no. That's where I'm like, nope, I don't like that one bit at all. And again, like I said, I felt like Vandy and Texas got absolutely hosed so bad. And Utah, I figured, didn't have a chance, but still, like, I mean, I know they wouldn't have been one of the top 12 teams, but damn, like, that doesn't help them a lot. But Miami, they need both BYU and Bama to lose, and basically Georgia to dominate Bama, which I just don't see happening. But then again, who knows? Who knows with this committee? Let's get into the conference championship picks. We will save the final rankings for Monday's episode, by the way, because for Monday, that's when all the matchups are set. So what we will do Monday is after the Eagles-Chargers game, we're going to do a couple NFL games because now we're getting to the point where a lot of teams are out. And then we're going to kind of do a bracket preview either Monday or next Thursday. It's going to be one of those days because I'm going to pick the playoff and who I think is going to win that as well. And that's kind of going to save me a week too when I pick the first round matchups. But then again, we will do an episode where we predict the final bracket either Monday or Thursday next week. Let's go to Conference Championship Weekend where it starts off in the Big 12 where Texas Tech plays BYU. First meeting early in the year. Texas Tech dominated in Lubbock 26-7 against BYU. Do I think it's going to be that dominant again? I don't know if it is. I don't know if it's going to be that again. I'm going to say no. Because I think BYU is going to put up a fight. They know they have to make it close to maybe make the committee consider, do we put 2 Big 12 teams in? The likelihood is no. But if they win, they're automatically in. And I have one small question that maybe somebody can explain to me. Since when did Dave Portnoy become the biggest BYU fan in America? When did that happen? I mean, god dang. I mean, I'm seeing him wear BYU merch on Wake Up Barstool. I'm like, what the fuck are you wearing BYU merch for? Like, what? So, I don't know, but in all honesty, I am going to go with Texas Tech to win again and clinch potentially a top 4 seed. I'm going to say they do get a top 4 seed. 27-17, Texas Tech wins the Big 12. I think they're the best all-around team in the Big 12. Defense has been lights out. I think their offense will do enough against a BYU defense I'm not completely sold on. Give me the Red Raiders 27-17 over the BYU Cougars. Now we go to the SEC, where Alabama plays Georgia in Atlanta, where, and I'll get point spreads for you guys, for those of you interested. Texas Tech to BYU was minus 12.5. Over and under was at 49.5, courtesy of DraftKings. And Georgia, Alabama, Georgia is favored by 2.5. Over and under is 47.5. So, I'm not going to lie to you. If it were me being non-biased, I kind of like Bama with 2.5. As much as I hate Alabama bandwagons, until Kirby beats Bama, I don't feel confident in Georgia to win this game. Now, Alabama looked pretty shaky against Auburn, and I watched most of the first half where they looked really good, and then they looked shaky. And then another 4th and 2 where Kalen DeBoer somehow calls a good play and he just scores again. It's like Missouri again, where it's the same exact thing. Now, these two teams, when they met back in Athens, Bama won by a field goal. And they dominated first half, and then they kind of cooled off second half. This is arguably the biggest game of Kirby Smart's tenure in Georgia outside of the 2021 National Championship game. Because if you don't beat Bama, the history is going to be Georgia will never beat Bama under Kirby. Well, they did in 21, but they just can never beat Bama. It's just they're in their head. Now, he has to win this game. Because if Georgia wins, they have an argument legitimately to be number 2 team in the country. Because they're not going to get it over whoever wins Ohio State, Indiana. It's not going to happen. But I am going to take, out of pride, because I hate Bama bandwagons and I need all my enemies out of postseason contention this year. Meaning, I need the Bama bandwagons out by Saturday. Please put Miami in or Vandy. I doubt Vandy will jump Bama, but please, just get Bama out. Stop. I want Georgia to absolutely demolish them. That way they have no chance. And I need this SEC Alabama bias to stop. Please. Get them out. You don't deserve to be in with 3 losses. Fuck out of here. I got Georgia in all seriousness, 30-24. I'm probably going to regret this pick, but I'm going to go with Georgia because they have to win this game. Now, Jack Bobo being out really is a concerning thing for me with Georgia, but I'm going to go with them because they have to win this game. They've kind of had a week to prepare for Alabama. So, Matai Simpson worries me because he could be a legit top 5 pick as far as quarterbacks go in this draft. And he had a field day against Georgia the first go-around. Georgia has to play better on offense for me to consider them a chance to win this game. Give me Georgia 30-24, although I might regret it. But if I was being honest, I kind of would take 2.5 with Bama because Bama has a history where they beat Georgia. But I want Georgia to win strictly out of pride. So give me Georgia to win. Now let's go to Duke and Virginia, where Virginia's 4-point favorites. The over and under is listed at 57.5. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think if Duke wins, there's going to be 2 G5 teams. Whether that's James Madison, if they win their conference championship, it's probably going to be the winner of North Texas Tulane. But Virginia has to win to give the ACC any hope of getting a college football playoff representative in the ACC. So, and again, I don't think Virginia should have been in the ACC title game. They did not count the NC State loss, which I don't know why. No one is yet to tell me why. But again, this shows there's some problems within the system of college football that I don't know who's in charge of the stats of the conference standings, but how you don't count that against Virginia with 2 conference losses, I don't know. Makes no fucking sense to me. But I'm going with Virginia to win because I don't want a 7-5 Duke team in. Get the fuck out of here. Or 8-5 Duke team. No way. I'm going with Virginia. Again, I'm going to wing this because I don't know how well both of these teams are. 31-28, Virginia over Duke. I don't know much about both teams, but I'm just going to wing it. So give me Virginia to beat Duke. Indiana, Ohio State. In what feels like Indiana's home park, because this is in Lucas Oil Stadium, which is Indianapolis, Indiana. So it's kind of a home game for Indiana, but Ohio State travels well. Ohio State is now 4-point favorites over Indiana. The over and under is listed at 47.5 points. So money might have come on Indiana from when this line first came out. Interesting. This is a big opportunity for Indiana to make a statement. Because if you beat Ohio State, you not only are number one, you might close the gap as far as the team that could beat Ohio State in the national championship. So Indiana, this is a big opportunity for Cignetti's program to make a statement as far as we're not just the best team in the Big Ten. We're the best team in the country. So I want to pick Indiana because I want Ohio State to go down. Although I don't think Ohio State would go down that much because they would still be a top 4 team. Can they keep it close? I honestly think they can. Give me Ohio State. I can't believe this. Give me Ohio State 24-16. I think Indiana's going to hang around. They're not going to score a lot. But I do think Mendoza's going to make a couple plays to keep this game close. But then I feel like Ohio State's defense is just going to make the key play at the right time. And they have an expatriate coach on their team, Matt Patricia, who has done well. But if I'm being really honest, it kind of looks a little easier when you have the best recruits in the nation and you're coaching them. Just saying. I still think Matt Patricia's a little overrated, but then again, I still think Ohio State wins. They're just too talented. I think their defense can make a key play or stop on Mendoza. Give me the Buckeyes, unfortunately, to win, and as much as I want them to lose. And fuck Barstool Tate. He's so annoying, bro. Like I don't want to. I need him to be humbled and out because he's unbearable. So give me Ohio State 23-16 over Indiana. Now those are my college football conference championship picks. Let's go into the NFL where there are some upsets on the card for this slate. Now, my New England Patriots, we get to kick back. 10 straight wins. And I'm going to save a little bit of gloating for a particular team later. But to my friends that are Giant fans, one of them cares about the Brooklyn Nets, which are going to win probably 17 games this season. And he's gloating about a Nets home win over the Giants. And he wants to come on the show, which I'm like, come on down, we'll talk NBA, but the fact you don't care about the Giants, bro, shows how bad they are. And then another one, we had him on last year, early in the year, in January, and I'm hoping to get him back this year, but yeah, he claims we were playing dirty. But, I mean, listen, they did miss a helmet-to-helmet call, but that was old school 80s, 90s ball where I was like, finally I got to watch a little bit of that. But anyway, let's go to the NFL Week 14 slate. Starting tonight with the Cowboys traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions. Both teams, a week after they played on Thanksgiving, the Lions are 3.5-point favorites. The over and under is at 54.5 points. Amon-Ra St. Brown's questionable. That's the big injury of this game to monitor. I'm not going to lie to you guys. If Amon-Ra St. Brown was officially playing, I would love the over. Because I don't know if he's going to play, I'm easing off the total. Now, those of you that are smart, there's a way where you can get an alternate total. I wouldn't blame you if you brought it down a little bit. But I'm doing that for my play. But then again, that's the way we do it. Then again, this game could go over. But they're, just saying. You could get it at a lower total. Call me nuts. This is the first upset of the weekend for me, of a couple. I like the Cowboys tonight. I do. I liked what I saw against the Chiefs. Dallas controlled that game from start to finish. Outside of the Dak Prescott interception, they gave it to Kansas City. They threw on them. They ran the ball pretty solid on them. Not great, but the Lions, I told you guys weeks ago now, and I feel like I'm beating the same drum, but the Lions' offense, since Dan Campbell's calling plays, arguably is worse. And their defense is just an average defense at best. I just think the Lions, to me, even if St. Brown's out, I am not sold on this team. I told you they're done. I don't think they're making the playoffs. The Cowboys, they're going to need it because the Eagles right now, they don't look great. So give me the Cowboys to win this game, and I'm going outright. 30-23 against the Lions. I have the Cowboys winning this game. I think that CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, they're going to have another monster game. Javonte Williams can run the ball pretty well. The Dallas defense, I think Detroit will score. I have some people for fantasy purposes, even though I'm out of my playoffs, which that's okay. One bad year, don't define me. I do think Detroit's going to score because I'm not sold on the Dallas defense fixing everything, but I do think with Quinnen Williams, some of the young guys that are playing pretty good football, I think they're going to make a couple plays on Jared Goff that will decide this game. Matty Eberflus does know the Lions from being the Bears head coach. I've got the Cowboys 30-23 on the Lions, and I'm saying it right now, this is the first guarantee. Give me the Cowboys plus 3.5, and the Dallas Cowboys are going to beat the Detroit Lions. Guaranteed. That's number one. All right. Let's go to Sunday's action. Saints travel to Tampa to take on the Bucs, where the Bucs are 8.5-point favorites. The over and under is at 41.5 points. Kamara's out probably. Mike Evans is coming back for the Bucs. Maybe not this game, but down the road. Key thing to monitor. Tampa, I think, will be much better during these next 5 games if they can get everybody healthy. Give me the Bucs 31-13. I think Baker Mayfield and company, they get finally to get some wins in a row. This is where they get hot. This is where they continue to build up the momentum in the Arizona game. They got to be able to help them out with Bucky Irving running the football. I think the Bucs will be just fine. Give me Tampa 31-13 on the Saints. Seattle travels to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, where the Seahawks are 7-point favorites. The over and under is at 44.5 points. I am so done with Kirk Cousins. I'm out. I'm out on the Falcons. I love Seattle in this game. Now, Sam Darnold, I think, will have a pretty decent game. Jeff Ulbrich might make him sweat a little bit with the Falcons' defense. I do think, though, Seattle at the end of the day just has too many playmakers for Atlanta's defense to handle. I think the Seattle defense will make Kirk Cousins frustrated all game long. I love Seattle to win 27-19. I just don't know how Atlanta is going to score against a really good Seattle defense. And honestly, I think Seattle has too much playmakers for Atlanta to handle. 27-19, Seahawks beat the Falcons. The Cincinnati Bengals travel to Buffalo to take on the Bills, where the Bills are 5.5-point favorites. The over and under is at 53.5 points. I lean the over because, hear me out, the Bengals defense is getting a little better. The Bills running game is really good. Then again, I have a feeling Josh Allen's going to throw more. I'm going to take the Bills painfully. However, I will be the biggest Bengals fan this weekend because I need the Bills to lose. That way, they are out of AFC East title contention, and we get a home playoff game, and they have to go on the road in the playoffs. But in all honesty, I do think the Bills win. I've got the Bills 30-20 on the Bengals. I wouldn't even be mad if people said 30-24, which is what Vegas has. I was going to do that. But I don't know if I trust the Bengals defense all the way through to score more than, to hold Buffalo to less than 30. And I don't know if I trust Joe Burrow yet against the Bills defense, which honestly is atrocious against the run. But then again, Burrow, he has had success against Buffalo before. So I honestly would lean the over. right now I would lean the over. I don't love it. I would lean it. Then again, I don't know what the situation on T. Higgins is. I have questions. I think Cincinnati's injuries are too concerning for me. Give me the Bills 30-20 on the Bengals, and sets up a marquee showdown for next Sunday when they play the Pats in Gillette. The Steelers travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens, where the Ravens are 5.5-point favorites. The over and under is at 42.5 points. Why do they put fucking 3 good AFC games at 1 o'clock, bro? I'm just saying. Why? I want to watch all these fucking games. I'm not going to fucking multi-view. No. I don't know what fucking 1 o'clock game to watch. But honestly, though, I'm declaring that the Ravens win this game. This is a guarantee because I watched them against Buffalo, and they played great first half defensively. And then Aaron Rodgers gets, I swear it was like a Leonard Marshall play from Joey Bosa with the strip sack to start the second half. And when Buffalo ran it in for a touchdown, I'm like, yep, there goes their game. And this offense is so bad. I told you, the Steelers are like the Steelers are like a plain bagel with nothing on it. They're fucking ass, dude. Okay? Their defense is old. And when I see that the Bills with James Cook run the same fucking play over and over and over and over and over on them, and the fucking defense couldn't adjust, imagine what the Ravens are going to do with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Oh, wait, we watched them earlier this year in the playoffs absolutely run the ball down their throat, and the Steelers just looked absolutely gassed by the first half, and they were just not even close to being the better team. Now, I know the Ravens looked very bad against Cincinnati, which, I mean, Joe Burrow somehow has really good games against the Ravens. But I am going to go with the Ravens. This is a guarantee. I just don't think that the Steelers offense can score points. Give me 20-16. Ravens beat the Steelers in Baltimore, and the Ravens win a big game in the AFC North and take back the division. And like I said to you guys weeks ago, I might have declared them a little too early to win the North, but I am not giving up just yet. Give me the Ravens to beat the Steelers, and yeah, guarantee the Ravens beat the Steelers. The Colts travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars, where the Colts are 1.5-point favorites. The over and under is at 47.5 points. This is almost at the total that I had this at, okay? Now, here's the thing, though. This is another upset. I'm going with the Jags. Home dogs. Yup, I said it. The Jags have looked better as of late. I'm not too bought in, and I'm not too convinced that they can be a second weekend team in the AFC playoff picture. I'm looking at the Colts, man. Daniel Jones with a fractured fibula did not look like himself against Houston. Jaguars supposedly have a really good defense that's been getting better. Handled Justin Herbert 2 weeks ago, and then they gave it to Tennessee. They beat Arizona. I just feel like the Jaguars right now, why are they getting 1.5 points? They're red hot right now. Oh, but the Colts lost to the Chiefs close and the Texans. They don't look good. They don't look good. Guys, anybody that knows ball, you know the Colts right now. Gardner fucking a little bit banged up with the Achilles. Now, it's not a torn Achilles where his season's over, but he's banged up a little bit. Daniel Jones fractured fibula. They're going the wrong way. Jaguars trending up. How is this a fucking home? How are the Jags 1.5 dogs at home? Give me the Jags. Guarantee. No way. No way the Colts should be favored. Give me the Jaguars 26-20 on the Colts. They take the lead in the AFC South. Colts trending downward. Jaguars trending upward. Jags should win this game. I expect them to win. Dolphins, Jets. Dolphins 2.5-point favorites. Over and unders at 41.5 points. Don't give a shit about any of these teams. Bottom of the basement in the AFC East. About fucking time. But if I'm being honest, I do think Miami wins 24-14. They've looked a little bit better now that they're out of playoff contention. And I feel like the Jets, they're the Jets until otherwise. 24-14 Dolphins over the Jets. Another garbage game to breeze through. Here we go. Browns are 4.5-point favorites against the Titans at home. The over and unders at 33.5 points. Oof, this stinks, bro. Why? No way in hell. No. I want to pick the Titans, but it is very hard to pick them to win a game. But I do think Myles Garrett is on pace to get that sack record. Give me the Browns 20-13 on the Titans. No more time on this game. I am done, okay? The Washington Commanders travel to Minnesota to take on the Vikings, where the Vikings are 2.5-point favorites. The over and unders at 42.5 points. Now, I want to bring my homeboy Vin back on here because we want to get him on here for late season content, playoff picture content. We'll work it out. I know he wants his Commanders to tank. But I've been told from a good friend of mine as the Vikings fan that J.J. McCarthy is the worst quarterback he's ever seen. And I am not watching this game. I have no interest at all in watching this game. But the fact that I'm hearing Jamarcus Russell comp with J.J. McCarthy is really, really bad. I mean, wow. Give me the Commanders 2.5 points. The wrong team's favorite again. The Washington Commanders are going to beat the Minnesota Vikings with or without Jaden Daniels. Guarantee. Give me the Commanders to win 27-10 because I think that the Vikings offense with JJ, nope, they are bad. No, thank you. Out. Nope. I'm out on the Vikes. 27-10. Washington wins and give me them with the 2.5. Broncos travel to Vegas to take on the Raiders, where the Broncos are 7.5-point favorites on the road. Over and under is at 40.5 points. I wanted to make sure that wasn't an 8. It's 40.5. I double checked it. The Raiders are a dumpster fire waiting to happen. Oh no, they've been a dumpster fire that is still going. Denver, I will say, did not look impressive against Washington, which I watched that game. They are going to score more than 10 points. That is a guarantee. I do need them to lose, but I don't think it's that weak. So, I will be rooting painfully for the Raiders, although do I have a lot of optimism and confidence in that happening? No. But give me Denver to win 26-13. I just think this Denver offense will do just fine against the Raiders. They'll get by them with ease. The Raiders are just so atrocious. Get them out of my fucking picks, please. They're garbage. Denver wins convincingly. The Rams travel to Arizona to take on the Cardinals, where the Rams are 8.5-point favorites. The over and unders at 47.5 points. I would lean the over. Because the Rams, they will score. Can Arizona get 17? Yeah, they can. They got 17 on the Bucks. So, I'm going with the Rams to win 31-17. Lean me over a little bit, but Sean McVay, Matt Stafford, they'll be fine. Don't worry about them. They'll be fine. Now, I do need the Cardinals to make Matt Stafford's MVP case go down. Doubt it happens, but then again, I'll take Drake May being at the front runner at the moment. Give me the Rams 31-17 over the Cardinals. I like them to win this game and move to the number 1 seed in the NFC, which is a teaser for the next game, where the Chicago Bears travel to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are 6.5-point favorites. The over and under is at 44.5 points. What did I tell you guys last week? I am not sold on the Bears. I bet I had an awful Charles Barkley guarantee moment last game against the Eagles, which I'll take the L on that one. But we get up, we go back trying again. I actually have this under the total. I've got the Packers 23-20 against the Bears. I just think that the Packers defense is going to make Caleb Williams frustrated. I think that their pass rush is going to overwhelm them. I think they can stop the run. And I believe that Ben Johnson is going to have to put Caleb Williams in a situation where, look, if we're going to make any type of run in the NFC, we're going to need you to throw the ball. Well, Caleb Williams isn't the reason the Bears are winning games. The running game is the reason they're winning. Packers are elite, I think, at defending the run, and I do trust their defense. They handled Jahmyr Gibbs pretty well on Thursday. Give me the Pack to win 23-20 over the Bears, and the Packers should take control of the NFC North at some point. Give me the Packers. To the Sunday night game we go, where the Houston Texans travel to Arrowhead to take on the Kansas City Chiefs, where the Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites. The over and under is at 41.5 points. Chief Bandwagons. Oh boy, oh boy. I don't know what I want more. You to sweat it out and then get your heart snatched in the last week of the season when you have no shot to get in and you lose by 1 week. Or to watch it end so quickly that you're out as early as possible and I can get you the fuck away from my fucking picks and AFC Championship or so-called Arrowhead Invitational that's done. You can bury that shit now, okay? Get them away as a 7-seed threat in case we don't win the 1 seed for my Patriots. And I want these bandwagon fans to start booking their trips to Cancun, going to your fucking hibernation caves, okay? Because it's over. You fucks, it's over. I'm pulling a Michael Rappaport now when I'm saying this. It's over. You fucks, and I'm going to tell you why it's over. Because you bandwagons are a bunch of cocksucking piece of shits. Is what you are. That's what you are. Fucking annoying my fucking Twitter timeline for 3 fucking years. Fucking claiming you're the greatest dynasty ever when you fucking got smoked in 2 Super Bowls. Something Tom Brady never had happen to him. Oh, and get this. These delusional bandwagons have to say, well, there was a couple down years for the Patriots in the Brady-Belichick era. You're wrong again. Because you know what those down years were? Let me tell you what those down years were. Oh, wait, we lost Brady to a torn ACL. Still won 11 games. AFC was stacked that year. 11-5 is good enough to make the playoffs back then. Guess not that year because the AFC was stacked. 09, the worst built team in the Brady-Belichick era. Bunch of fucking old up for late round draft cast-offs. That team was not that good. Randy Moss was on the tail end of his prime. No disrespect to Randy, but he was. Wes Welker gets his ACL torn the week before against Houston, and that was basically all that they wrote because New England was cooked at that point. That team was awful. They were 10-6. They were not a good team that year. I'm honest because I'm an honest New England fan. I'll fucking tell you. But then, 2010, that defense, if you really watched them, they were all right. They weren't no great defense that year. Oh, but they had the most turnovers forced in the league at that time. How many points did you give up that year? You gave up some games where, and I know this off the top of my head because I remember this. 24 to the Bengals with Carson Palmer and T.O. and Chad Johnson. How about 28 to the Jets? The first meeting with their team. Oh, you gave up 28 points to the Jets twice, including a playoff game. Yeah, I remember that. 30 to the Bills with Chan Gailey. Chan Gailey with Ryan Fitzpatrick, Stevie Johnson, Fred Jackson. Yes, my encyclopedia. Johan will make fun of me for it, but yes, no, my encyclopedia knows very well. Do you remember that was the same year they gave up 34 points to Peyton Hillis? So that defense was not very good that year in 2010, regardless of what Patriot fans want to tell you. The offense, though, was really, really good. The problem was Rex Ryan, one of the known defensive coordinators, gave us fits. And he naturally did. He was a really good defense coach. And the Jets were the number 1 defense in the league 2 years straight that went to back-to-back AFC Championship games. And you guys want to act like that's a down year? Brady won league MVP that year, dipshits. So, these down years, they weren't this bad where you missed the playoffs outright in your prime. Your fucking baby goat, your fraud goat is what I'm going to call it, but Chokes, he's not even going to make the playoffs in his prime. He's not even going to make the playoffs in his prime. His division is going to be now taken over by Bo Nix and Justin Herbert. And you're not even going to be in the playoffs. Once again, your little GOAT case sucks again, and I'm not entertaining it. Even though I had to fact check some of these bandwagons that have the unmitigated gall to say, you know what? Brady and them had some down years. I'd educate one on X. He has yet to get back to me because I guess I schooled him pretty good. So, what's better? Having them totally out now? Or having them wait it out and sweat and then having their hearts snatched out that last week of the season? What's better? You know what I think it is, honestly? I think it's better that they're out of the way now. Because I know Yoham's dying to come on lounge time. I know he is. And he wants to really go off on you guys. Now, I'll let him when the time is right. CJ Stroud, it's a big game for you, young man, because you have yet to beat teams that have knocked you out of the playoffs. The Ravens and the Chiefs in the same year. Okay? Now, they did have a nice win against the Colts and Bills back-to-back weeks. This Texans team's high. I told you guys this defense, scariest team in the playoffs, no one wants to play. I do think, though, that DeMeco Ryans, the key for them is if the Chiefs have Jalen Moore at left tackle, they've got to get pressure on Mahomes. And that defense, if they got Josh Allen 8 sacks against him, and they got after Daniel Jones with a fractured fibula, the biggest thing is those pass rushers have to win up front. I'm going with the upset. Give me the 3.5 with the Houston Texans, and I'm going to say this. The Houston Texans are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Guarantee. Bye-bye, bandwagons. Get the fuck out of my fucking X timelines. Go the fuck home. Pack your fucking trash bag. Go into hibernation. Book your Cancun trips. Get the fuck out. I am so done with you. Please. Go. Get the fuck out. I'm done. No more fucking GOAT talk. It died in February. Give it up. Brady never missed the fucking playoffs in his prime. Fuck out of here. Bandwagons, dynasty's been dead. Done. Give me the Texans 23-16 against the Chiefs. I'm taking the upset once again. Now, the Eagles travel to LA to take on the Chargers on Monday night, where the Eagles are 2.5-point favorites. The over and under is at 41.5 points. Now, this was 3 when I was taking my notes. It's moved down 0.5 point. Justin Herbert's going to play, though, with a hand. They're looking at it. It might be good. Meanwhile, Omari and Hampton might be back for the Chargers. That could be a big thing, considering how the Eagles' run defense did not look good on Friday against the Bears. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think the Eagles are one and done in the playoffs. I said it on Monday. I think the Chargers win this game. Now, I am a little worried about their offensive line because Jalen Phillips and I feel like their pass rush, Nolan Smith, I think that Jalen Carter being out now is big. Because when Jalen Carter's out, the Giants ran the ball successfully, the Cowboys ran the ball successfully. Can the Chargers run the football against the Eagles? Yes, they can, because when Jalen Carter's out, both of those teams have success running the football. Harbaugh, you've been known to run the ball at your Michigan days, the 49er days. Run the ball with Omari and Hampton. This is the game to do it. Jalen Carter's out. When he's out, the Eagles' run defense sucks. Give me the Chargers with the 2.5 points, and I'm going with the upset outright. The LA Chargers are going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles 20-16. Guarantee. That is my picks for NFL Week 14. We have some upsets on the card. Now let's quickly go into Survivor before we go into the first edition of the Rich Saile Men's College Basketball Top 25. But let's go to Survivor first. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have lost track of how many teams I have kept that I've used because I'm out of my pool. I've been long out. But if I'm going to be honest with you, this is kind of the worst week because this is where you kind of can start getting away with some bad teams at some spots like Cleveland, Miami, you could probably get away with. If you haven't used Denver, I would probably use them against the Raiders. And then I feel like the best pick of the entire slate is Tampa against the Saints at home. Tampa should win this game. I think they'll have no problem beating the Saints. But again, if you want to take a chance at Cleveland, Miami, I wouldn't fault you, honestly. This is kind of a really shitty slate. But I'm not spending much time on this because this is actually a horrible Survivor slate. So those are my 4 picks. Now, the moment you guys have all been waiting for, my first ever edition of the men's college basketball top 25. I have made this list. It is a tier list. So I will explain in the little clip I've got following in just a moment. But this list is going to be different from the AP top 25 that they have. I made mine a little bit more controversial. There are some teams that people are like, how are they not in? Well, they haven't played like a top 25 team to me. But I am going to give you guys my college basketball top 25 for the men's tournament. Again, feel free to disagree. It's fine. But I'm going with something that I feel like, by my metric, are the top 25 teams in the nation right now for men's college basketball. Anyway, the moment you've all been waiting for, here it is.
All right, guys. So here is my top 25 men's college basketball teams right now as of December 4th, 2025. Now, we're only going by the games before today that have been played. And again, this is going to change when I give future top 25 polls. I'm probably going to do one per month is my goal when we continue with the NFL concluding and college football in the playoff. When that concludes, we're going to have kind of a monthly top 25. That's my goal for the channel when we do cover college basketball content. But for now, let's get into my top 25 teams. These are right now. So as you can see on the tier list, we have 5 tiers now. Everybody across is kind of 1 through 7. The next row is 8 through, and I want to say this is 14, and then the last 3 rows are 15 to 25. I tried to separate my top 25 teams all in the different tiers, so that's kind of how we did it. So let's go over the top tier. In my opinion, these are the best 7 teams right now in the country, especially when they play their A game. Purdue, no questions asked. They smoked Texas Tech. They were really, really good when I watched them in that game. Michigan, they smoked my Zags, which painfully hurts me still, but they were the best team in the Players Era Festival. They have to be at least 3, but I have them 2. Arizona, now they have some marquee wins, UCLA, Florida, in UConn. That's why I have Arizona at 3 over UConn at 4. Now, people are like, well, why would you put UConn with 1 loss ahead of Duke, who has no losses right now? Well, to me, if UConn had Terrace Reed and Braylon Mullins healthy for the majority of this first month of the season, I would argue UConn would be a better team than Duke right now. I know they lost to Arizona in stores, but UConn impressed me in that loss more so than Duke has kind of looked in the first month of the season. Now, I know they beat Florida on Tuesday. My opinion, though, UConn, even with 1 loss, I think when healthy is a better team than Duke is at this moment right now. Iowa State, Houston round out my title contenders right now. I watched Iowa State at the Players Era. I don't know how they didn't get involved in the third place game. It was because of the margin of victory, I believe, as one of the tiebreakers, which was complete BS. Beat a good St. John's team. Absolutely handled Creighton and Syracuse. To me, they should have at least walked away with cash winnings, but they didn't because they didn't make the third place game. In my opinion, Iowa State, I want to say they're top 5, but they're getting really, really close. But again, people forget this team was hurt in the tournament last year, and they went out earlier than people expected. I think if this team is healthy, they can definitely be in play for a 1 seed. It depends how they do in the Big 12 play, because their counterpart, Houston, they lost to Tennessee. I am not concerned with them yet. I know they had some trouble in the front court. I don't worry with Houston right now. I think they'll be fine. Kelvin Sampson will get this team figured out. To the second row we go. Gonzaga, they could have been tier 1. I don't think they're going to have that bad of a game like they had against Michigan. So I have them at 7. They can move up to the national title contenders depending on how they look in their last couple of test in the non-conference play Kentucky, UCLA, Oregon before they go into conference play. They're going to be hard to judge because their conference isn't as strong as the 7 teams above. Granted, the Big East isn't great for UConn, so when you kind of put it that way, they'll probably be not as tested, but at least UConn's got St. John's that will be a team that they'll test them for March. Gonzaga, their best is St. Mary's. I know the WCC is better a little bit than it's been in years past. It's not really great compared to the powerhouse conferences. But I think if Gonzaga plays at the defensive level that I've seen in the first month of the season prior to the Michigan game, they're going to be in the top 8 seed line for sure, meaning the top 1 seed candidates, 2 seed candidates for sure. It all depends, one, if their defense can continue their play that they were in the first month. Very important game when they play Kentucky tomorrow night. Alabama, they lost to Gonzaga and they lost to Purdue. 2 really good losses to good teams. Now, their key is going to be, can they get everybody healthy? And if they can get everybody healthy, this team is without a doubt a contender for a top 2 seed in the tournament. I think they'll end up on the 3, though, barring any of the top 7 fall off. But I still trust Alabama. I think Alabama's going to be fine. No doubts about them. Now, when we get to like the next 5 in the second row, I think this is where I could see them losing in the second round. Definitely the Sweet 16, but they can make it to the second weekend. And they could still prove a little bit more. Louisville and ACC play with Duke. BYU in the Big 12. Michigan State, I think with Michigan and Purdue, that's going to see a lot more with them. Kansas with Darren Peterson comes back. They can move up. Tennessee, they have a big marquee win against Houston. SEC play, you're going to see them more with the likes of Alabama, with the likes of the other SEC competition. I do think these next 5 have the potential to move up when some of the heavyweights start to beat each other up. But I feel like they're missing one key area of their game I don't think puts them over the top compared to the 9 teams above them. They can make the Elite 8 depending on a great matchup, but I have questions. Louisville, love their backcourt. Michael Brown Jr., definitely a top 10 pick in the draft lottery coming up. BYU, Debanza, top 3 pick. But Louisville, don't trust their size in the front court. BYU, I don't know if they're really great defensively. I think that's going to hold them back. Michigan State, now they've been shooting the 3 really, really well so far. They got Duke on Saturday. That's a great test for them. I want to see how they do against Duke. I want to see how they do in the Big Ten when they play Michigan, when they play Purdue. Maybe they can move up. Kansas is a different team without Darren Peterson, but they've looked good. They've looked good. 2 losses to Duke and UConn. You can't judge them too harshly. I would have them much higher when Darren Peterson gets back because that kid, he can definitely get into the second weekend, possibly the Elite 8. You can't rule Bill Self out. Tennessee, Nate Ament is really good. The SEC, though, is a step back to what they were last year. They're not as loaded as they were, but I think Rick Barnes and company, they get to the second weekend, but I have a little bit of questions about their team outside of Nate Ament as far as taking that step to being a Final Four team. I don't know if they've got the team this year to do it, but I definitely think they can make it to the second weekend. So that's my top 14 teams in the first 2 rows. Now, Arkansas would be 15. I could definitely see them in the second weekend. I would absolutely have them. They had a really nice win against Louisville last night. They lost to Duke. They lost to Michigan State. That's why I have them at 15. And I think they're going to get better. And I think they could definitely move up into the top 2 rows depending on how they look when they play a really good team in Indiana. They're going to be playing SEC competition. Okay? They're going to be tested. Now, again, I want to see how Calipari's team looks in conference play because this young team, Darius Acuff, they got some dudes on Arkansas that can play. And I think they might lose a couple games. That's why I have them at 15. They're a little lower. I do expect Arkansas to move up potentially, but I don't want you to expect too much of a big jump from Arkansas. But definitely this team will be guaranteed a top 4 seed in the tournament for sure because this team has a lot of high upside with their young freshman team. Florida, now they did lose to Duke on Tuesday. That was a tough one, right? They've got UConn coming up. They lost to Arizona already. I don't think they're as good as they were last year. Then again, the SEC isn't as great in total as they were last year. Florida, if they can get some of their issues worked out when they go to conference play, they could also move up. I just think this is where Florida, they can win a game. I don't think they can get to the Sweet 16 because their front court is good, but their backcourt leaves a lot of questions. I like Boogie Flan. Xavier Lee, he has not panned out to the guy they expect him to be so far. Then again, who knows what the second half, but Florida right now, their backcourt's got problems. I got them at 16. Texas Tech, I'm not giving up on. They looked absolutely atrocious against Purdue. JT Toppin is still one of the top 10 players in the country. I'm not giving up on him yet. They've got to pick it up when they go to Big 12 play because they have not looked impressive. Losing to Illinois, which has not helped them. Purdue has not helped them. So they have really struggled. Hopefully Grant McCaslin's group can get it right. North Carolina is tricky because they beat Kentucky, but they got smoked by Michigan State. So are they good? I don't know. All right. I wouldn't be mad if you people put Illinois ahead of them or Auburn ahead of them. This is where it's interchangeable. But for me, North Carolina beating Kentucky, losing to Michigan State, it's not bad losses. Illinois got a good win against Alabama, which helps them. But they looked really, really shaky against UConn. But then again, UConn's beat a lot of good teams in their non-conference slate. Auburn beat St. John's, lost to Michigan, no shame in that. And again, I feel like they had a good win against NC State last night. So Auburn, to me, is pretty good. Like, they're better than I would have given them credit for. I was a little low on them. They're better than what I thought this first month. Indiana at the last fourth-tier team spot. This is a team I think is the most interesting team to watch when we get to Big Ten play. They've got some big marquee games coming up. They got Kentucky. I believe they got Arkansas. They've got some good competition heading their way, and I want to see how Darian DeVries' team looks. They have some really good players that they're building over there. Indiana could make a jump maybe into that Tier 3 where they could win a game or two in March. I want to see, though, when they play a couple more of those teams in the non-conference slate, and especially when they get to Big Ten play, I think they're going to be better than people think. Possible Sweet 16 team. They're rounding out number 21 for me. Now, the last four. Vandy, UCLA, USC, TCU. Vandy, they won, I believe it was the Atlantis tournament, where they beat St. Mary's. I need to see more with Vandy. They beat some good teams, but not the top 25 level teams good. I want to see how they do when they play top 25 competition before I say, okay, they can make a Sweet 16 run. I don't know about them yet. I'm going to give them the fact that they're undefeated. They're a little bit better than UCLA, who lost to Cal, did not look impressive. But Donovan Dent still is a really good point guard. I'm very curious to see when UCLA plays Gonzaga next weekend. That's going to be a fun game for me to watch. UCLA could make a jump into the Tier 4, but that Cal loss concerns me. Mick Cronin's questioning some things. I don't know how to feel about them, but they can definitely make a jump. Eric Musselman, USC. Won Maui. That's pretty big for them considering that they had a really rough first year. But Eric Musselman, people forget, he can coach his ass off. Did really good at Arkansas. 2 Elite Eights, 3 Sweet 16s. Musselman, don't rule them out. They have a nice team over there as well. I think this team is without a doubt a top 25 team. But again, I want to see them in conference play. I want to see how they continue to make further progress because I don't think they're quite at the top half of the Big Ten as far as heavy juggernauts, but they'll be good. They'll be a tournament team. TCU is in my 25 spot. Now, I know you guys are like, where's Kentucky? Where's St. John's? Where's Iowa? Right now, TCU has the better resume right now as a top 25 team than Kentucky does, than St. John's does, and then Iowa does. TCU beat Florida. Big deal because that's a win where they're going to look and say, okay, that's a really good win. This team's better than we thought. Now, again, they have also some games where they lost to Michigan close. Played them really good before Michigan turned into the best team in the country for a 3-game stretch I've ever seen. I still think TCU is a really good Big 12 team. The question for me is, can they beat more than just Florida? Can they be competitive in the Big 12? I think they can. I've got TCU rounding out my top 25. Kentucky, to me, has not looked like a top 25 team at all. You guys can get mad at me on that. I don't care. St. John's has serious issues. They can't shoot the ball well. They don't have a true point guard. And I think that, to me, their ball handling is concerning. Now, don't get me wrong. They have one or two good shooters on their team. But I don't think, in general, that's going to help them right now. Now, they can definitely move back into the top 25. But right now, they have serious problems. If you want to put them in 25, I wouldn't be mad at you. My top 25, though, is a little different than everybody else's. That's why it's controversial. Iowa, I wanted to put in so badly. But they're lacking that big win, and they got beat bad by Michigan State in Sparty, which is not a bad loss, but I was looking to see if they were going to make that level of a jump. I don't know if they will, but for now, this is what I've got, ladies and gentlemen. This is my college basketball top 25 list. Let me know in the comments what you think should be changed. Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? Let me know. But that is my first edition of the college basketball top 25 for men's college basketball so far as of December 4th, 2025.
So that is my edition of the men's college basketball top 25 poll. And again, guys, I'm honestly very proud that I did this because I want to get college basketball more on this channel because I love men's college basketball personally. I have a great time watching it. This is honestly the first year I've been watching it more and more this year than I have because last 2 years, your boy was in college, assignments, projects took over, games to cover took over, so I didn't get to watch as much. But this is the first year I get to actually watch and provide you guys with some of my insight knowledge on what I like for college hoops. I did get to watch a little bit of the Players Era tournament last week. That was really fun to watch. Well, up until Michigan smoked Gonzaga, which that was bad. But overall, guys, I actually really like this poll. I think this is honestly something different. I don't know if the college basketball experts are going to be up in arms about it. I just hope they don't come with like torches and pitchforks. I don't want that because that would be absolutely horrible. But that is my college basketball top 25. We're looking to do this at least once a month. And then when March comes around, we're going to do the March Madness bracket like we did last year in March. If you have not seen that video, it's still fun to watch. Honestly, it's me reacting to the bracket live and then giving my picks and then a small bit of analysis. If you want to go back and watch it for fun, it's fine. If not, totally cool. But that's where our first college basketball video was at. We're looking to build that more on the channel, so we will be talking a little bit about that now with college football ending and NFL going to the playoffs. We'll still be talking NFL, don't worry, but I'm going to slowly integrate college basketball in up until the end of the tournament is my goal to give you guys some content beyond football that I'm expanding into. So that is it for today's episode of Lounge Time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you guys can get all the latest content regarding the NFL season. We're getting into that last third of the season now. Everybody will be done with buys after next week. We're going to get some friends of the show to talk playoffs, to talk Super Bowl contenders, to kind of talk about some of their thoughts right now on the season as a whole. And then I have some of the NBA nerds I am trying to get on the show. It's going to be tough, though, but I'm trying to get a couple NBA nerds to talk some NBA as well because the NBA is surprisingly interesting a little bit, and I want to get some of their expertise on who they think can win it all. From what I've heard, we're going to be heading towards a new dynasty in the NBA where it's equally as bad as the Warriors, if not worse. But then again, I want the NBA nerds alone to talk to me on that. We will have some of them on the show. Hopefully soon. I'm working out those details and arrangements there. You can also follow us on Rumble. We're looking to build a new community on Lounge Time. Follow us on Rumble where the episodes will be going out there as well. We've been finally getting some consistency over there. Make sure you guys come follow us on Rumble. We're looking to build a new audience, a new community to join to the Lounge Time family. We can't do without you guys. You can also follow me at Lounge Time Pod on X where, yes, if you tweet me for a question on the show you want me to answer, I have no problem answering the question. All you got to do is just send a tweet to ask me, Rich, can you go over this on Lounge Time? Or what do you think about this? No problem. Even if it's college football, college basketball, NBA, give me something where I can talk to you guys about it. I'll give you a shout out, I promise. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Lounge Time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I will see you guys on Monday following the Eagles-Chargers where we will talk about NFL Week 14. The college football playoff bracket, the official bracket will be revealed. And we're going to go over some previews into the matchups for college football, And then we'll save Thursday for the NFL Week 15 picks and playoff clinching scenarios. Until then, I'll see you guys Monday night after the Eagles-Chargers game. Have a great weekend, everybody.